In today's modern era of technology, governments, including our own, are attempting to limit our access to information. Government censorship is a hotly debated issue and causes violent protests around the world. Over 75% of countries today employ some type of censoring techniques. Early examples of censorship include the inspections and revisions of letters sent by soldiers in World Wars I and II. Nazi Germany censored their society by holding large book burnings. Today, internet censorship is many governments' method of choice. Some claim that it is even used as propaganda against the public. Imagine only being able to see what the government wants you to. Something you all might not realize is that 65% of American colleges also employ some type of censorship or speech restrictions on their students. Until recently, Americans did not realize that this is a violation of our First Amendment rights. Imagine Neutr's library without all of these books, except for this one book that was censored by the government and allowed to be read. The following clip describes a bill proposed by U.S. Congress and how it goes about censoring America's internet.
The internet is one of the United States' most robust and growing industries. It enables free and open communication among billions, and it's been the backbone for protests around the world. But a new bill proposes we give the power to censor the internet to the entertainment industry. It's called Protect IP, and here's how it works. Private corporations want the ability to shut down unauthorized sites where people download movies, TV shows, and music. Since most of these sites are outside U.S. jurisdiction, Protect IP uses a couple different tactics within American borders. Firstly, it gives the government the power to make U.S. internet providers block access to infringing domain names. They can also sue US-based search engines, directories, or even blogs and forums to have links to these sites removed. Secondly, Protect IP gives corporations and the government the ability to cut off funds to infringing websites by having US-based advertisers and payment services cancel those.
There are two sides to the censorship argument. Anti-censorship activists say it violates Americans' guaranteed rights that make up the basis of our society. On the other side, the argument is that censorship is necessary to protect our nation and its people. They feel that information shouldn't be accessible to all due to the ever-increasing threat of cyber attack. As seen in this chart, it appears that the American government has chosen to censor our internet rather than risk unrestricted access to important information. The novel that I chose to read for my junior theme that dealt with censorship was Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. In short, this novel is about a futuristic American society in which free thought and freedom of speech are restricted by the government. What Ray Bradbury and I were both trying to identify as a theme in this book is that in order to maintain the American identity, people must realize from the warnings in Bradbury's book that we must not keep up giving ground to the American government via censorship. The following clip provides context as to why governments choose to censor information. Professor Barney Wharf is discussing censorship in a more modern context as opposed to Bradbury's in his book.
The ostensible reasons for internet censorship typically include things like protecting public morality, protecting the public from things like pornography or internet gambling. But the real reasons for internet censorship often have very little to do with that. It typically involves governments' attempts to suppress freedom of speech. Many governments are terrified of the alternative voices that the internet offers and the opportunity to bypass government control of the mainstream media. Many governments trot out national security, typically very vaguely defined, as a basis for internet censorship. But the reality is much more an interest in curtailing civil liberties and trying to channel the appropriate flows of information to their own publics.